Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is the MAG Standards and Details Committee meeting, September 2nd, 2002. Just going to get started into this call to order and introductions. Don't know if there's anybody out there who is fairly new to this. If there is, can you please announce?
Could I get the person who phoned in with the phone number ending in 483?
Hi, Gordon. This is Matthew Bryan with City of Phoenix Water.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Gordon, I'm going to move on to item number two, the call to the audience. To attend the meeting by technological means, members of the public may either access a link to watch the video stream on the MAG website by clicking the view and listen link provided under the related links section at www.azmag.gov/event/25649, or members of the public may submit written comments relating to this meeting to www.azmag.gov/comment within 1 hour of the posted start time for the meeting. We were talking earlier that there is no comments, so we're going to move on to number three, approval of the August 5th, 2020 meeting minutes. If everybody could take a couple minutes just to breeze through them real quick and let me know if there's any comments, concerns, or questions.
In the meantime, Craig, I'd like to pull up the attendance list, and if there's one that hasn't been checked, can you let me know?
Okay.
So I think I've got everyone online, but if you are online and you're not checked, can you let me know? Okay, I think I've got everyone. Thank you.
So I'm going to keep moving on. Moving on to item number four.
Oh, Craig.
Looking for.
We have the minutes that are still standing.
Right. So I'm looking for a vote for approval of the minutes as written.
This is Warren, all motion.
Thank you, Warren.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, we need a roll call vote since we're virtual.
Okay, so start from the top. Avondale.
Aye.
Buckeye is a yes. Chandler.
Yes.
El Mirage. Gilbert.
Yes.
Glendale. Goodyear. Maricopa County.
Yes.
Mesa.
Yes.
Peoria.
Yes.
Phoenix.
Yes.
Scottsdale.
Yes.
Thank you, Roy. Surprise. Tempe. And Youngtown. Looks like we've got enough ayes that were approved the August 5th, 2020 meeting minutes. Moving on to item number four, the ADQ update on the AAC Title 18, Chapter 5, Article 5, Bulletin 10. Jim, did you want to talk about this at all? There's really not a whole lot to talk about on this in terms of new information. I think everything is still kind of on hold.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I think it's still open for comment.
Yeah. So
I think maybe next month we should reach out to John and just see what the status is.
okay, I think that's a good idea. So we'll probably carry this on over to next year and see if we can't get any action on there. So
Right.
moving on to the cases under consideration. Number 5, it's the case 2001 miscellaneous corrections. Hope everybody got the email that Gordon sent out yesterday, kind of late notice, but we added a letter G to our miscellaneous corrections, which is to change all occurrences of storm drain or storm sewer, to storm drain, just to be consistent with the other locations in the mag book that talk about storm drain. So I don't know if anybody had any comments on that, or if anybody wanted to have any comments, concerns, or questions on A through G.
I thought that G was a good idea. Good addition.
Yes.
Yeah, we squeaked it in.
I can pull that up real quick if anyone wants to look at it.
So we are looking for action at this meeting. I don't hear any concerns or comments. I think I want to go ahead and bring it up for vote. Can I get somebody to motion?
All motion, we vote on this item.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Tom. All right. Avondale.
Yes.
Buckeye is a yes. Chandler?
Yes.
Al Mirage? Not present. Gilbert?
Yes.
Glendale? Goodyear? Maricopa County?
Yes.
Thank you, Carl. Mesa?
Yes.
Peoria?
Yes.
Phoenix?
Yes.
Scottsdale?
Yes.
Surprise? Not present. Tempe? Not present. And Youngtown? Not present. So the ayes for case number 20-01 have it. Thank you, everybody, for working on this throughout the year. Moving on to number 6, case 20-02, deleting detail 346. Warren?
Nothing to add at this point. I think I think we've left it with pulling it for this year and then maybe a new case for next year. Isn't that correct?
That's the way I understand it, yeah. And I believe that it was going to go in the out of right of way. Is that correct?
And that would be the proper place since, yeah.
Okay. So moving on to number 7, case 20-04, section 303, pervious concrete base course. Revisions to section 323, pervious concrete, and a new pervious concrete pavement detail. Roy, I believe you're sponsoring this one. Yes.
Yes. So don't know why, but I'm struggling with the mute and unmute button here. So I appreciate your patience. Just kind of, I guess, to give the committee an update as to what's taken place since our last meeting last month. Basically, we had a materials meeting, and this case was represented at the materials meeting. That was Thursday, the 20th of August. It was basically presented to the working group at that time, or represented. It wasn't first time, and there were no additional comments on from the working group at that time. What I can do, if the committee would like, is I can kind of go over the comments that we had from our last August meeting on the and thank you, Gordon. Gordon's got it up right there on the detail. we did have comments to include a reference to a ribbon curb. And what I ended up doing is I did add the ribbon curb in there, and instead of going through and actually calling out the standard details, because it was starting to get really long, and so as not to miss a standard detail, I did include curb and gutter, or ribbon curb, as per the contract documents. So that was how that one was addressed. We did discuss the pervious concrete pavement itself, and the need to make sure we clarify and be consistent with our note number 1 for use in light traffic areas only. So I did put underneath the section there for pervious concrete pavement that it is for light traffic areas only. In other words, this isn't something that you're going to be building out on a high-speed roadway or out on the freeway or anything like that. So I did address that. There was also some discussion actually right before the August meeting. I talked with Jose on clarifying the line work on the kind of the side slope there adjacent on the pervious concrete pavement for the sidewalk area, to kind of clarify that. So I did clarify with some call outs on that as well. And then the engineer and me, without the spell check option, missed a couple of spellings on the word minimum in our general notes in a couple of places. So I did fix that as well. And at this point, I haven't received any additional comments from anybody else. So I open it up to the committee if anybody has any additional comments on this.
Not sounding like there's any. So I would think that it looks like we've got action requested for this month, this meeting. So somebody want to motion?
Craig, I'll move to approve the case.
I think we're going to need to go through a vote, a motion in a second.
We have a second.
This is Warren. I'll second.
Thank you, Warren. Okay. Let me get my sheet up here again. So I'll go through it a little bit backwards this time. So Youngtown, not present. Tempe, not present. Surprise, not present. Scottsdale,
Yes.
Phoenix,
Yes.
Peoria,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Maricopa County,
Yes.
Goodyear, not present. Glendale, not present. Gilbert,
Yes.
thank you. El Mirage, not present. Chandler,
Yes.
Buckeye is a yes. Avondale,
Yes.
okay, so the yeses have it. Case 20-04, pervious concrete, including the 323 and the detail is approved. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we're going to move on down to item number 8, new and potential cases. Discussion for new and other potential cases for 2021. Does anybody have anything that could be coming up for next year's meetings?
This is Peter. In terms of the outside right-of-way, I think we're looking at a number of cases that we'll be developing for next year. We've started one that would probably be specifically just for the outside right-of-way, which would be vegetated or rock bioswales It's actually well under development right now, and we'll be meeting for the next few months to try to clean it up and have it ready and talk to a sponsor, one of the agencies for putting it in. Other ones we're looking at will be sediment traps, curb cuts for for entry into these low impact development sites. And of course, we're going to be addressing detention tanks and dry wells and the backflow preventer. So we've got a few on our table. We're going to try to get them spread out through the first part of the year and be presenting those to the committee.
So you've got quite the list going on for next year.
We got a lot of people finally participating. In addition to that, we're going to be looking at, we've got a group of landscape architects that have been wanting to participate, and they're going to be looking at things like the existing MAG landscape details and looking at an outside right-of-way landscape detail, and then kind of looking over the entire MAG document for things that are impacted by architects or that they use, and potentially be looking at some suggestions on how we can improve them.
Okay.
Peter, is that landscape architect group, is that separate from the outside right-of-way group, or is that the same thing?
It's part of right now. I don't think I think what we did, I'm going to get to our section. I'll kind of talk about that Gordon and Ann with ASU were able to come up kind of a flow chart where it's kind of like a little subgroup of ours under our auspices right now. I think in the long run, we may want to look at a separate group of working group of architects, but in the meantime, we thought they would just kind of work out of our area.
I've got someone here at the City of Mesa that I'd like to participate. If that's different than the standard working group information, I'd appreciate it if I could get the meeting information or contact for that.
Very good. Yeah, as soon as I'll find out, Wayne Colbert has been kind of leading the effort on putting together the architects. And so we'll, Colbank, I'm sorry, Wayne Colbank. With Logan Simpson, he's been kind of organizing it a bit. And so once we have something a little bit more formal, I'll get that announced.
Thank you, Peter. Sounds like you got quite a bit of participation. It's always nice to have a lot of different minds to work through some of these issues and get solutions.
Hey, Craig, this is Warren.
Yes.
One suggestion for next year is maybe we include in the first packet again Gordon's list that he shared earlier this year of cases, potential cases, and older details needing or specs needing some attention, just so we don't lose sight of that.
I certainly could bring that back again. I've got the list saved. So.
And you probably have some additional ones at this point.
Yeah, that's possible. And then we might have taken care of a couple too. We can check off the list.
I think we did.
Right. So no, I think that's a great idea. Thank you, Warren. Any other new or potential cases for 2021 next year?
Well, Craig, as you know, from the water and sewer group, we're going to have a few. One of the first ones probably would be that detail 212, the pothole repair. So that'll be coming first part of the year. The other one we'll be working on probably the first part of the year will be that addition to 611, the testing. We're going to have a spec for the portable water hauling wagons. That's already pretty clean to go, so you'll see that first part of the year. And working on the densities tables, you know, for trench compaction, try to get that introduced next year, I'm hoping. So.
Yeah, we've got that City of Phoenix catch basin detail that we want to move into MAG as well.
Yeah, one thing, and we'll cover it in the working group meeting, is that the detail that I know a lot of cities don't use it, but I think Peoria, the wet barrel hydrant, we're having some issues with that one because a lot of the manufacturers, when you add their check valve, they can't meet the spec, and so I think we're going to need to revisit that spec. I don't know, Dan, if you guys still use wet barrels in Peoria, but I might want to get with somebody over there in your water public works group and see if they're having any issues with installation of these, meeting and following that spec.
They actually, they are, Jim, and they've asked us to stop wiring the use or requesting the use of the wet barrel. So yes, that would be a good one to discuss. And Craig, I just wanted to make sure that we were going to carry over the list. I think Jim covered most of it, but at the meeting minutes from the last meeting, we had that list of topics. I just wanted to make sure that that was carried over.
Yeah, I believe that's what we're looking at. Like you talked about the pothole repair, the catch basin, sampling and testing frequencies, potable water hauling requirements. We're talking a little bit about HDPE adjustment ring. I guess we can go all through this when we get to the working group, but yes, Dan, we've got quite the list going for next year. So moving on down to number 9. Oh, working groups. Water, sewer, Jim?
Okay, we met on August 18th. Yeah, and just revisited the item, the ADQ, the update on the AC Title 18 and the Bulletin 10. Hopefully we'll keep that going. We did talk briefly about maybe next year. This might be a blooper case, but changing reference to HDPE and PVC pipe, and try to generalize those as thermoplastic pipe. I think we want to do a little more research on that, but that might be an issue or a case next year. Then we again talked about the utility pothole repair 212. Sampling frequencies for trench backfill we talked about. I think we're done for now on manhole frame and covers. Talked a little bit about the detail at 611 for next year. Portable water hauling requirements, that'll be a case next year. Then we talked a little bit about that storm drain or the catch basin detail P1569. We're gonna borrow from Phoenix. And then again, just went over our other potential cases we're gonna be working on, which you've already talked about. So we are gonna try to have a meeting on September 22nd. Maybe get some work done on some of these, finishing them up so that come January, we should have some cases hopefully ready to go. So that meeting again will be September 22nd at 1:30. That's all we did.
Thanks, Jim. Asphalt materials, concrete working groups. Greg, Brian?
Oh, I'm here. So obviously the first item we discussed was the case that you guys just voted on and approved on the pervious concrete. Rob Godwin brought to the group what the water and sewer group has been working on the sampling and testing frequencies, basically asking any of the materials group guys if they wanted to be involved in that. The more the merrier to try to get those things put together and handled. And I think he's made arrangements with a couple of different agency members to be a part of that and to be a part of your next couple of meetings.
Good.
Obviously, we don't have any other pending cases or anything else. So at this point, we'll probably not meet again until January unless something comes up, and then we can initiate it. But at the present time, it'll probably won't be until the 2021 in January.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Peter, outside of right away, I know you touched on quite a few things earlier. Was there more?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of go through. We had our meeting on August 27th. And again, a very well-attended meeting, good broad cross-section of professionals and folks of interest in it. And we talked about, Ann Reichman gave a quick update of the status on the pervious pavement case that was just passed. We've gone through and actually there's a detail on the standard now well developed on these vegetated rock bioswales. I think it's going to be very close to being ready, but we thought we would vet that through some of the landscape contractors first. And that's the next group we're trying to reach out to, seeing who we can get there. Again, Wayne Colbrink is reaching out to ALCA to see if we can get some folks to review it, get a little bit different input, the contractor's input. City of Tempe folks, Donna Sullivan Hancock and Eric Bowens, are working on the sediment trap one. A lot of the issues right now are just getting people time, but we've got this first one now with this rock, vegetated rock bioswale, kind of an example of how we want to see these low impact outside right-of-way specs developed. So I think with this first example in people's hands, it's going to be a lot easier. With the landscape architects, I mentioned that quickly. We did put, Gordon and Ann put a flow chart together to help people understand how our process works. We have so many people new to the MAG process. They did a very nice job showing how things move through, where it goes, how it follows the process. And that may be something worth sharing with other people who are new to it. It was a very nice document put together. And then I presented what we talked about at our last meeting a month ago on how the outside right-of-way document is going to be formalized and start getting into the development. And I think probably first of the year, we should have some cases we'll need to readdress that, how we're going to number these things, how do we want those to start looking. So again, our next meeting is September 24th. It'll be an MS Teams meeting. If somebody wants to participate, I know Gordon sends the announcements out, so we'd be more than happy to get more people involved.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Looks like you're going to be moving quite a bit this next year.
I just wanted to mention also that if anyone wanted to take a look at the flow chart or the details and specs that they've been working on, they're posted on the outside right-of-way working group meeting, the last meeting that they had, so you can download them there if you like.
Thanks, Gordon. Last for number 9 is the City Phoenix supplement to MAG. Jose?
So we're, again, just trying to get caught up with the ages and updating our details. We went through mainly our water details this last meeting, and we don't have a lot of updates, but I will probably take advantage of the forum and just pick the brain of everybody, the other agencies out there. One of our city supplement details that we keep going back to and get into a lot of heated discussion is, for those that are not aware, we have a T intersection driveway / ADA ramp combo detail. And I don't know if there's any other agencies out there that actually rely on that detail or use it or allow it in their jurisdiction. I can try to share just so you guys, but you know what? I think I can't share, but
Jose, I can share that, yeah, Chandler has one, and I know we try not to use it, and I don't think we've used it in quite a while. A lot of people just feel like there's just too much concrete with that, and often when they do their mill and overlay, when they have to do ADA upgrades, they end up using one of the ramps maybe for a T intersection. Instead of doing 2 ramps on the other side, they choose the side and put the ramp where you don't end up with one of those combo situations. And the feeling is that still meets the ADA, although you have to travel a little further to get to pinning. But so what I'm saying is we just kind of avoid that when we can.
yeah, and that's one of the things we're kind of hoping to work towards a policy that is allowed. I mean, we got a lot of discussion that every intersection should have a ramp, again, for true ADA, you know, in order to avoid any differentiation or discrimination, and everybody has to be able to cross the same point. So,
Right, that's
but
a
no,
tough
I
one
mean,
there. You can always-
I'm glad that you share that. That way we can take that into account. Because yeah, that's one of the things that's being proposed is just completely just get rid of one ramps on one side of the T intersection.
when there's a conflict.
Yeah, when there's a conflict, correct.
Jose, do you happen to know the detail number, the Phoenix detail number?
Yeah, it's P1244.
Hey, Jose, I can share my screen. I was just pulling it up. So that you
Okay.
can look at it. So hold on one second.
But yeah, we've used that occasionally, Jose, in Avondale, and it's just a huge mass of concrete, and it's tough to, you know, the person's whole front yard is nothing but concrete, and there's usually utilities like a street light or transformer or something in the way, and it's just so difficult to try to get it installed. So it needs to be,
Exactly.
I mean, besides the detail itself, just the policy of where you put these maybe needs to be looked at.
No, thanks for that input, and that's mainly it. Is I don't think any of us at Phoenix are 100% on board with the detail. It's just one of those things that with the size of the lots on the newer subdivisions, that's kind of what's been presented as the main challenge. Is there's always a driveway, so on one side.
Yeah, Jose Buckeye uses them also. Not very often, but we do use them in some cases.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Carl Rockwell. We do not want them in Maricopa County. We have thousands of upgrades to come up to ADA from the older Sun City and other communities that are unincorporated. And what we try to do is move the receiving ramp to where there isn't a driveway. And that's where we came up with that newer detail, that smaller ramp that can fit. It can fit in between driveways. But anyway, that's our position.
One of my concerns is just the fact that you're directing people towards a driveway. And if you're blind or in a wheelchair, you may not see a car backing out of the driveway, or the car may not see someone in a wheelchair if they're backing out. This doesn't seem that safe.
True. And it gets driven over a lot, and those truncated domes don't hold up so well.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm more of a fan of eliminating one leg of the intersection, myself, but it's one of those things. Thanks for the input, everyone. But that's mainly the update that I have for the city supplement.
If nobody has anything else, moving on to item number 10, just general discussion. Does anybody have any topics of interest that relate to any of this or?
Greg, I've got a question, if you don't mind, for the group. City of Mesa's been looking at the MAG specification regarding liquidated damages. We've had some questions arise on that. And it looks like it was first put into MAG in 1998 and has remained unchanged since then. But I'm wondering if anyone has an idea of the process that was gone through back in 1998 to determine the liquidated damages that are in the table in that section. If anyone has any information on that, what process went through, how those values were determined, I'd appreciate any information on that.
This is Peter. I'll go look back in the meeting minutes. I still have those files sitting around. So
I knew
I'll see
I
if
could
can
count
find
on
something. I am a pack rat.
Thank you.
Didn't we update that though since then? I thought we did, since 98.
I think it was discussed in the past. There's kind of a lot of pushback from contractors that don't want that changed. But so I don't think it was. I know it was, I think it was looked at when we're doing the entire overhaul. I don't know, I'm trying to think, it was probably the 2005 edition, or maybe, no, not that far back. Anyway, yeah, I don't think it has been changed.
Well, everything else costs the same as in 1998, so liquidated damages should too.
Well, I think one of the things, Ryan, was discussed is if we're going to do that, they wanted to put on a section for rewards. Like getting, if the contractor finishes earlier, and they want some kind of incentive, amount of money that could be put on in there. So that's why I think we tabled it, Gordon, because it was getting to be a double-edged sword, so.
Okay, thank you.
I think there was also some discussion on whether the value should be indexed to inflation in some way, but again, nothing ever happened about it.
But I agree, Ryan, it should be looked at and increased, so.
Good point, Ryan. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Craig, I wanted to give an update now that we passed the cases for this year, what the next steps are. So for all the cases that were passed, I'm going to begin compiling and updating the MEG book with updated specs and details. And the next step then is to kind of create a little report that includes a summary of what the actions were, and then a sample update packet that can be sent to the public works directors, and also can be downloaded and viewed by the committee so that you can check to make sure that all of the updates were correctly incorporated in the book. So that goes to review for the public works directors. So I know I sent out a list of, and I appreciate all the people who've sent me back corrections. If you haven't had a chance to look at the list for your agency, please do, and then let me know if there's any other corrections. Then after they've had 30 days to review it, it goes to our management committee and the regional council at MEG. Usually it's just a consent agenda item to let them know that it's happening. They almost never have any questions about it. Once it goes through those committees, then we can begin printing the books, and the goal every year is to have the printed books, update packets, and the online versions all ready by January 1st. So people can download and begin using them right at the beginning of the year. So as I get closer with those updates, I'll make sure and send an email to all the committee members so that you have a chance to review them.
Okay. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
So that comes to the end of the agenda, but I would like to say that it has been a very interesting year this year. It has been a challenge, I think, for not only city agencies, but I believe probably MAG as well, and private development, because this pandemic is just, I mean, we're sitting here right now virtually, so some changes. So I just want to thank everybody in the committee, because it's been an interesting year. So. But
Thank you, Craig, for leading us through this interesting time.
Yeah, thanks, Craig.
Very different, odd.
Will we ever be having face-to-face meetings again?
I hope that's not the case. I really hope that's not the case. So, but if nobody has anything else, look for a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay, and a second.
I'll second.
All righty. Gordon, do we go through a vote for adjournment?
It's not required to
Okay.
do a roll call.
All right.
Sorry, I was late. Had a hard time getting a phone reception, you guys, but I got most of it.
Good. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you again, and we will see you maybe January, or if you come to the water working group next month. So
Thanks, Craig.
that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.